Hi everyone and good evening. Thank you for taking the time to meet with us today. My name is Kirtika Saravanan from Miatek College. I am here today to interview a lecturer from MMU University who is Nur Azlin Alimuddin. Hi madam.
Hello, hi.
But before that, I would like to introduce my group members.
Hi, my name is Nur Amira Shazana.
My name is Vanessa.
My name is Sophia.
So now, shall we start the interview, madam?
Yes, please. But before that, thank you for inviting me to be in one of your, I would say podcast, podcast
Right.
interview, right? And we have special appearance here now with me now.
It's okay. And before I start my questionnaire,
Yeah.
can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Okay. About yourself is very general. Ask me questions. I mean, what do you want to know about me? That must be open. What? Just ask me, four of you. Any questions that pop up to your mind?
From where you have been studying?
Okay, I graduated from UiTM, diploma and bachelor degree in mass communications, majoring in public relations, right? And that's my alma mater. So I pursue my masters in Brunel University in London.
Alright, that's great, madam. And now, can you describe your teaching philosophy?
Ooh, my teaching philosophy. Okay, I always believe in student success. Alright, so I'm a very motherly type of lecturer. Okay, I do not believe in forcing students. I'm basically more on nurturing them, encourage them, inspire and also motivate them.
Okay. And how did you incorporate technology in your teaching?
Ooh, I mean, of course, being a mass comm student, I'm actually teaching diploma, bachelor degree in applied communications and multimedia. Of course, technologies is very important to us nowadays with the horizons of AI, alright, artificial intelligence, where you have ChatGPT, you have this all of sorts of AI to actually assist you. But of course, in my field, I would definitely use technologies, especially in their assignments. I always bring my students to actually a field trip to actually visit all of the companies. Let's say last trimesters, I basically bring them to Leo Bennett, one of the leading advertising agencies in Malaysia. All right. So this is where the students from field trip, this is how they actually learn and keep themselves in a trend of new technologies in the industries. Yep.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, how did you ensure students' engagement in your lecture, especially when dealing with larger classes?
Oh yeah, yes, I do have 150 students last semesters. All right, so that's a lot. That's a creative number, which a different cohort. But how do I engage with them? That's very interesting questions, because sometimes I do miss out to engage with them because we've a lot of number of students, 150, right? But normally I will try my best to actually talk to them. So normally they will I will separate them into groups, of course. All right, so of course I will call them group by group. I have 10 groups last semester altogether. So what I did is basically I call them for consultations group by group, and then in class, before the class started, I will actually spare 5 to 10 minutes just to Q&A in the class. So make sure that everyone is basically engaged and be informed. I also spend time with them. I know Saturday and Sunday as well, I'm working as well, even though Saturday and Sunday is my leisure time with family, but because I love my students so much, so that's why I try my best to actually engage with them, no matter where I am. Yeah.
Okay. How did do you keep up to date with the latest development in your field?
Okay, of course I've attended webinar, in communications itself, there's a lot of webinar, there's a lot of workshops, there's a lot of training. So I always do a bit of research. I also blend myself with the Gen Z, of course. So of course you guys are more updated in terms of software, in terms of apps, So that is how I keep myself to be uptrend, in terms of technologies. So of course not just I'm not just be in communications, meaning that I need to also go for marketing, for an example, in any marketing's workshops, for an example. Or recently actually I went to there's one, I can't remember, basically it's in Bangsa, where me and my colleague attended how to actually produce a short film.
Wow,
yeah, so
amazing.
that is how I actually keep myself to be updated, because I need to be par with my Gen Z students. I don't want to be left out, even though I'm almost 40 years old, right? So I need to keep par with the Gen Z so that it's easy to actually talk to you guys.
Yeah, I got it. How would you motivate students who seem disengaged?
Well, I don't know. I have students who actually come forward to me. I think because they are okay. First of all, as I've mentioned, that I'm very motherly, right? So I have a very close relationship with students. As I'm also academic advisors. So I need to know, because for me, my students' mental health is important. Because nowadays everything is about mental health. Your stress. Your if you can't cope up with certain things, it will actually lead to being mental stress. Much important. I always talk to my students that mental health is very important, alright? So normally what was the question again? Disengaged students, right?
Yeah.
So how do I engage students or disengage?
Disengaged. How do you motivate them?
Okay, how do I motivate them? Of course, motherly, being a mother to them, because of course, being in universities, they stay in campus. Their parents is basically far away for them. Okay, I consider that I need to actually, motivate them, talk to them, always text them, of course, I know I have 150 students. I can't accommodate every one of them, but I always tell them, please come to me if you have anything that you want to talk to. So I'm becoming not your biological mother, but treat me as your mother, or even you want as a sister. If I'm old already, but you can still treat me as sister. But this is how I actually motivate them. So apparently there's a lot of students who actually come forward to me, even though I'm not the program coordinator, but they always come to me and talk to me instead of the program coordinator. So I'm actually interpreter between my program coordinator and me, because some of students who are very comfortable with me, this is how I motivate them. So of course, in terms of academic, of course there's a lot of in-class activities, because one of the subjects that I taught last semester was visual communication. So this is a very hands-on and technical subject, so where they need to do in-class activities. So if I saw some of my students is basically like they're distracted from the class, this is how I make sure that I do in-class activities, so that each of the students could be participate in the class and do the in-class activities. That is how I motivate them.
Yeah. Good. How do you assess student progress?
Of course. How do I assess my students' progress? Of course, because I got a pool of students, 150. It's not easy, isn't it? So, of course, I will assess them in-class activities, so this is how I actually observe, so even though I got 150 students, of course it will be divided into 2 sections, right? So one section's roughly about 60s, all together combined 120, right? So I need to actually go in class, do some activities. This is how I monitor them. And also in terms of blended activity, so I normally give them some blended activities.
So, can you describe a challenging situation you encountered in teaching?
Wow, that's a lot. I don't know. I think to understand Generation Z, that is pretty quite difficult for me. And to actually address them, to make them understand, okay, that is very tough challenges for me, for now, okay. It's not like I said that Generation Z is very but it's to understand them, because you guys are very, I don't know, probably because the era of social media, so normally you guys speak out your mind, right? So for me to understand you guys and to educate them and to motivate them, that is pretty tough, challenging for me,
Okay. So, our last question. Do you have any final thoughts or advice for people aspiring to success in your career?
For me, or I'm actually telling the students?
For students.
Okay, I don't really do this, but for me, as a student, you need to know what you want, you need to be able to actually, because now the technologies are very robust, so who knows, another 5 years you're going to see flying cars everywhere because of the technologies, but for me as a student, you need to know your priorities, you need to prioritize, what is your in your life, if you be in university, so you need to know what is your prioritize, what do you want to be in your life, so because everyone success in a different way, so sometimes it's good to fail first and then you you get up and you success, isn't it? All right, so for me, I always motivate and educate my students to know what do you want in life. That's the most important thing. And then you have to always remember your parents, so they are basically struggling, to find money to actually send you to the best schools, best universities. So for me, without them, you are nowhere in your life, of course, isn't it? So with their blessings, of course. So the third, you need to be able to, how do I say, you need to be able to you need to be able to, do a lot of, how do I say, do a lot of research, because now you guys are depending 100% on social media. So sometimes you guys need to also do your research to understand on certain matters, right? So that is what I always educate and and tell my students, this important action that you need to do in your life. Yes.
Alright, thank you, madam. So we are lasting our interview session over here. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, madam.
Thank you very much.
Bye!
Bye.